After crashing another one of his whips and saving Lulu, Marvin wastes no time striking back at Unique and his crew. Marvin doesn't waste his time getting at a low-level goon. He goes straight for Unique while the Queen's drug lord is out with his son. Marvin rolls up in a van looking for revenge and riddles it with bullets. As mentioned earlier in the season, Unique rides around in a bulletproof vehicle, which is indeed the case. Unique jumps in the back seat with his son while the car absorbs all of the bullets. Unique and his seed escape the situation unharmed, but Marvin's rash decision did the damage. Unique got a good look at Marvin as he was letting the bullets fly. While this is going on, we learn that Lulu is still alive, but he is in bad shape due to the smoke he inhaled after Unique's crew firebombed his home. Rack is by her loyal soldier's side and is probably second-guessing herself after questioning his loyalty in the previous episode. His girlfriend is also there watching over Down and Out Boo. While talking to her unconscious brother, she vows to get revenge and to remind her enemies, specifically Unique, who she is. She is interrupted by Symphony, and the couple head to the hallway to talk. Symphony reveals to Rack that Kanan told her that she would be at the hospital, and he just stopped by to check on her because he was worried about her. Rack is upset that Kanan, whom she is not happy with, shared that information with Rack. The two once again beef. It's clear Rack doesn't want to let her young tenderoni get too close, even though he is constantly telling her he cares and wants to be there for her. Rack dismisses their relationship as make-believe shit. After seeing Lulu laid up in the hospital, she feels being vulnerable with him is a distraction. She eventually kicks the young man to the curb once again, but before he leaves, he tells her to tell Marvin not to trust his boss Tony. Speaking of Marvin, he returns to his crashed-up whip, but before he leaves, he ties up all loose ends and kills his driver, the same guy who snitched on Kanan and set the van on fire, destroying any trace of evidence that he was involved in the shooting. Detective Howard is in bad shape physically due to cancer in his body, but he is still pushing on. While standing outside of the hospital where Lulu is being kept, he notices shady-looking individuals rolling up. His ears perk up, and for a good reason. It turns out the two individuals are there to finish the job and assassinate Lulu. The two men who look like they don't work in no damn hospital are handed a paper bag with fake credentials from a hospital worker before they head inside. They make their way through the hospital without being detected by anyone and make it to Lulu's hospital room, only to discover the police moved him at the suggestion of Detective Howard, who was waiting for them to show up to arrest them. Following the successful sting operation, Rack and Detective Howard have a conversation. Howard is desperate now and instructs Riku to set up a meeting with Kanan. Rack agrees and tells Howard he has to leave her business alone and apply pressure on Unique, and he agrees. But he warns Rack that if anyone else but Kanan, the deal is off and he will send Kanan away. Nicole's parents, specifically her racist mother, are still processing the death of her daughter. While at the police station, she pleads with Detective Shannon to do something after learning that the arresting officers released Jukebox. She believes Jukebox is responsible for her daughter's death. Nicole's reasonable dad tries to plead with his wife because he knows that's not the case. Detective Shannon also points out that Nicole's mother, her daughter, wasn't murdered but was the drug overdose victim. Nicole's mother is not trying to hear that and tells Detective Shannon if she doesn't do something. She has friends in high places who will before leaving the police precinct. Jukebox is also still mourning Nicole's death, pays a visit to her gravesite, and gets an unsuspecting visit from Detective Shannon. The eager cop tries her best to resonate with Jukebox by revealing she is gay, and it seems Jukebox doesn't care. Detective Shannon offers to give Jukebox a ride and take her to get Italian ice. Jukebox's patience with the detective runs out when she reveals that someone claimed that Kanan was selling the crack that killed Nicole. The final straw is when Detective Shannon inquires about D-Wiz's killing. Jukebox leaves and instructs Detective Shannon to stop following her. Detective Shannon is back at the precinct and talks with Detective Howard. She tells him that she had a conversation with Jukebox about Kanan and the bad crack. Detective Howard is not pleased with the fact his partner went behind his back. Detective Shannon has no idea what is going on, and Detective Howard is livid. He is so mad that he tells her that she doesn't need to be his partner if he can't trust. Jukebox makes her way to the hospital to visit Lulu and speak about her encounter with Detective Shannon with her aunt. Rook makes sure to see if Jukebox spilled any tea about the business, and she gets that reassurance from her niece. While Jukebox doesn't want to associate with Detective Shannon, Rock sees it as an opportunity for the jukebox to the police officer in her back pocket as a potential friend who can be called on when needed. Jukebox finally arrives home and finds her dad waiting for her in her room. After learning that his daughter is gay, Marvin is unhappy and calls her Lebanese when he meant to say lesbian. This is the first time we ever see these two characters interact with each other, and we see precisely how toxic their relationship is when they start physically fighting each other. Marvin almost takes his own daughter's life when he begins choking her, letting her go when he realizes she will lose consciousness. After he lets go, he breaks down into tears after realizing what he has just done. Jukebox leaves and links up with Detective Shannon, again taking the advice her aunt gave her. Rock is fully aware that she will have to commit some sins, so she finds herself in the hospital chapel asking God for forgiveness. Marvin eventually joins her, and he tells her about the failed hit on Unique, and she is not happy about that. Marvin tells her that being that she kicked him out of the family, she wouldn't have been able to stop him, and he's going to take whatever action he sees fit to defend his family, including her. Marvin admits that having his younger sister calling the shots doesn't sit well with him, but he admits that she does better at running things than he does. Reek tells him that a revolution is coming and she will need him again and instructs him to arm up the boys, including her son, and get ready to hit the corners again. Rock wastes no time schooling her son once again after telling his mom he is ready to help. She teaches him how to shoot while giving him one of the illest pep talks ever. Rake reveals to her son that she will need him to kill someone for, and Kanan says he is ready to pull that trigger that will put him in the game. While Rack is speaking with his son, Unique is rallying his troops, prepping them for the coming war with Rake's crew, and after the attempt on his life that almost saw his son die, he is in a take-no-prisoners mood. Meanwhile, Lulu finally wakes up after being sedated to take the strain off his damaged lungs, and his girlfriend was there to be the first person he saw. Finally, we catch up with young Kanan, or he is heading to handle the business that she told him she needed to be taken care of. Remember when Lulu stole Unique's custom jacket out of his car in the last episode? Kanan is now in possession of it and puts it on before he meets up with Detective Howard. Detective Howard quickly notices the jacket and smells something is going on. Kanan pulls out the gun given to him by Marvin, and before Howard can reveal himself to be his father, Kanan shoots him, making it look like Unique was the person who pulled the trigger.